Hello, welcome to this Calm Club loosening video on space and volume at the core. Starting laying on your back, just holding lightly into the backs of your knees so that we can explore simply being on the floor here. Weight of our legs into our lower back and start to move the toes and the feet. So this practice isn't about doing stuff around the core, but rather being held by the ground as we start to move into our feet here at the edges, moving into this practice where we're focusing on awareness and being held by the ground and how that resonates into the belly, to this central part of us. So moving the feet in any way that they can, circling ankles, pointing, flexing, opening toes. You can then start to just wag your tail side to side to start to feel out your side body, side spine. That's feeling your legs move under your hands. And coming to still, placing your palms over your knees, fingers pointing towards the toes, elbows and shoulders soft. And start to circle the knees together so that you're creating a circular massage onto the lower back, moving all the way around the pelvis, out to the sides, down to the tailbone, up to the waist. One direction, and then changing over to the other. Letting yourself breathe and sigh out as you need to release in the jaw, the face, the other end of the spine. And exploring out any movement within this range of motion where you feel weight distribution changing all over your pelvis, base of your spine, down and around your tailbone. Until letting the legs stay where they are, arms to the side, to come back to that, moving the tailbone side to side, to really feel that side spine undulation a little more dynamically now. You might find your head moved by this. So you can see my head is naturally turning in the direction of the tailbone, and I'm not really making this happen, just rather allowing that motion that ripples up sideways in the spine, including the neck, and letting that come to soften. Place each foot down onto the ground, feet about hip width apart. Breathing into the belly there, through the shoulders. And lifting the knees again. Again, placing the hands over the kneecaps to now exhale. Draw the knees into the chest. Inhale, let them move all the way away from the head. Little bit by little bit to that motion. So that as you inhale, open the front body to allow the legs to come down. Tips of the toes might touch the floor. With the exhale, you gather back in to relieve that opening of the belly fibers. You can let the head and neck move with this. So as you touch the toes down, arch the back, chin moves to meet the chest, lifting. As you exhale, let the chin lift towards the ceiling. And then coming back in Knees towards your chest, arms out, just taking really gentle movement of knees together, side to side. So we're twisting through the tissues of the torso, but feeling that the shoulders and arms are heavy. Feel nice and rooted there, to feel that quite deeply in a twist, but not grasping to get the knees right down. There'll be plenty enough motion through the middle with this hovering movement. Keeping space between the back teeth to not introduce tension into tissues, and to still be able to breathe into the diaphragm, mid point in the body. And then coming back to center. Just let yourself move now in any way that feels right through the legs in this curled position. Just exploring out at this point what simply feels right into the legs, the pelvis, the hips, up into the belly, diaphragm. The motions I'm doing, the ones that felt right for me at the time. You can see here starting to reach the legs out and draw each one out and around in. So if it feels right for you to start to take the legs away from the body and back in this way, then you can. And having a little rock side to side before lifting legs up into the air, taking a stride about as wide as your mat with the legs, outside edges of the feet parallel, and then draw knees in. So you start to tap each foot down to the ground as the other lifts. And feel yourself drawing the lower ribs down to support how the belly helps the weight of the legs not pull into the lower back. And you feel this movement into the belly, but we don't need to massively grip there. And feel a little bouncing motion of the legs, like a lateral walking or striding or even lunging motion. Resting your knees back into the chest. And then crossing one leg over the other with them lifted to the sky. We're coming back to that wagging the tail side to side here. With that support of gathering the legs in towards each other, you can feel how the head and neck may be moved. And then swapping that over to the other side, coming back to this opening into the side of the spine, side of the body, side of the ribs. A little bouncing motion, making that reverb, a resonance through the fascia. And then both feet hip width apart now. Hands above shoulders, having a little shake, a little shimmy, just a discharge any bits of tension. Letting the limbs hang above hips and the shoulders before bringing legs down to the ground, arms out to the side. We're having a real rebound here. So with the press into the feet, just rocking up and down through the spine. You notice I took what I had under my head out, so I really feel free for the neck to move, not making that lifting up and down of the chin happen. It's a consequence of this press into the feet to move up towards the head and down in this kind of bouncing way that just gets a This bounciness through tissues that's really gets blood flow moving, lymphatics moving, freeing of any tension through tissues, hydrating. Letting that come to still, opening the feet now as wide as the mat to turn the toes in a little, drop the knees in towards each other to open across the lower back and settle your hands on your belly. So after that rebounding motion, bringing some reassurance onto your belly, your core, and feeling your breath there with a sense of volume, sense of opening. All supported by being held by the ground. And letting yourself sigh out anything that is ready to leave. Namaste.